Recently, the problem of school bullying reared its ugly head again. The airwaves featured a youngster in Arkansas progressively and deliberately isolated, abused, and tormented. The problem is large, complex, and pervasive, according to the American Medical Association. The creation of peaceful and civil societies requires early investment, experts say, and reinforcement of nonviolent behavior. Many see peace as the absence of war, but in fact, peace is much more than that. The creation of peaceful citizens is no accident. Citizens choose not to be violent when they possess 7 gemstones of peace: mental and physical health, education, opportunity, tolerance, positive conflict resolution, cooperation, and self-esteem. These echo the United Nations Millennium Development Goals, which were agreed upon in 2000. One great example of the 7 gemstones at work is a program started by the American Medical Association Alliance some 12 years ago called SAVE, S-A-V-E, for Stop America's Violence Everywhere. This grassroots program has addressed many forms of violence over the years, but recently bullying among children has been its primary focus. The AMA Alliance's effort rightly recognizes that our children are the key to a peaceful future. As former AMA Alliance President Gene Howard has said, quotes, "No community is immune to violence. Everyone deserves a safe place to learn and grow. If we want a peaceful society, we must all work together to create an environment of tolerance and peace early in life," close quotes. How big a problem is childhood violence? Aggressive, violent behavior is pervasive in America's schools. A 2001 study of nearly 16,000 6th to 10th graders in U.S. public and private schools revealed that nearly 9% of the children were involved in frequent bullying. Males were more common offenders than females, with approximately 13% involved, compared to 5% of girls. There was very little difference, though, between whites, blacks, and Hispanics. Bullying is a unique form of aggression because it causes long-term damage to both the source and the target. Both bullies and the ones bullied often suffer from poor psychosocial functioning. Both show poor academic performance and poor relationship building and loneliness. Bullies have high rates of discipline problems, usually dislike school, and are more likely to use drugs and alcohol. And the bullied kids are more likely to suffer depression and anxiety. By their 20s, former bullies and those who have been bullied continue to suffer consequences. Bullies have 4 times the rate of criminal behavior as non-bullies in adulthood, with 60% having at least 1 conviction. And those who were bullied have high levels of adult depression and poor self-esteem. The rates of bullied children roughly mirror the rates of their tormentors. The behavior is most common in the 6th grade, with rates slowly declining by the 10th grade. Still, in grade 10, nearly 7% are bullies and nearly 5% are being victimized. Both males and females are bullied, but in somewhat different ways. Males are more likely to be physically attacked, reporting being physically bullied nearly 18% of the time, compared to 11% in females. Verbal violence takes multiple forms, including attacking one's looks or speech, attacking religion or race, spreading false rumors, or making sexual comments or gestures. The latter somewhat more common among females. Bullying is a double-edged sword, slicing away at the fabric of society. What can be done to identify those involved and intervene early? Well, clearly, post-Columbine, most realized that bullying is not just kids being kids. The risk factors for bullies include poverty, overcrowding, disadvantaged schools, difficult childhood temperaments, inadequate parenting, poor socialization skills, and poor school performance. An especially high-risk group exists amongst those who experience social isolation, difficulties with learning, and the history of problematic behavior. Such individuals often have a history of being first bullied and then becoming bullies. These individuals have been labeled provocative victims, who exhibit both anxious and aggressive behaviors. What are some of the warning signs? Well, they include unpredictable temper and mood swings, loneliness and depression, vandalism and arson, gun availability and a preoccupation with weapons, threats of violence to self, others, and animals, gang affiliation, and the absence of parental supervision. As the AMA Alliance has reminded us, we all have a role to play in this society-wide grassroots effort to assist those who are both the source and those who are the victims of childhood violence. School principals can enforce zero-tolerance policies, devise guidelines on how violence should be handled, and encourage parental involvement. Students can report violence, serve as peer mentors, and participate in violence prevention programs. Parents can be role models for nonviolence, ensure firearm safety and security of the firearms at home, and be accessible to their children. Teachers can work with parents to recognize early warning signs of trouble, report the problems when they are still correctable, and practice conflict resolution in their classrooms. Legislators can pass laws to ensure responsible gun control, mandate full health and mental health coverage that includes children, and fund early intervention and violence prevention programs. And finally, nonprofit organizations, including churches, synagogues, and mosques, can together champion social tolerance, community coalitions, and parenting classes. Peace is not simply the absence of war. We have to work together for peace, and we have to create an environment where tolerance and mutual support are realistic alternatives to hatred and violence. For Health Commentary, I'm Mike Magee.